Today our topic is cascading style sheets, and myself I am Srinivasarao Tottempudi, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SRKR Engineering College, Bhimavaram. Coming to the objective of this lecture is to learn about cascading style sheets. And coming to our topic, cascading style sheets. So before going to cascading style sheets, first we will see what is the need of using cascading style sheets. Up to now we have discussed about various HTML elements and attributes of those HTML elements. So using HTML elements we can able to develop HTML documents. But coming to cascading style sheets, using cascading style sheets we can apply various style properties for a given HTML element, or for a given website, or for a given web page. So using cascading style sheets, a user can able to apply styles for a given HTML element, or for a given web page, or for a given website. The cascading style sheets can be divided into three types: inline style sheets, embedded or internal style sheets, or external style sheets. So the main job of style sheets are used to apply styles for a given HTML element, or for a given web page, or for a whole website. Coming to the first type, inline style sheets. So inline style sheets are used to apply a unique style for a single HTML element. So in order to apply a unique style for a single HTML element, we need to use the type called inline style sheets. The name it indicates that inline style sheet is a sheet. It is used to apply the style within the line only. That is why the name came into picture. So using inline style sheets, we can easily apply a unique style for a single HTML element. So in order to use inline style sheets, we need to add the style attribute for the relevant tag. Suppose if you want to apply a style for a paragraph tag, then we need to add the style attribute after the paragraph tag. Coming to the syntax, the syntax starts with a selector followed by property and value, where selector is our desired HTML element name. So we have three types of selectors. So the selector indicates that our required HTML element, where property indicates that the style property, and value is the value of that property. For example, I want to apply a style for paragraph tag, then I need to mention at the selector part paragraph name, that means P. After that we have to apply various style properties. For example, I want to apply color for my paragraph, then what I should do, here at the property names, at the property name, I need to mention the property name as color. I need to mention the value of the color. Suppose I want to apply the color blue for my paragraph, so I need to mention the color value as blue. So selector means our desired selector, that is our desired HTML element. Coming to the types of selectors, we have three types of selectors. First one is element selector, second one is ID selector, third one is class selector. Coming to the element selector, the element selector selects elements based on the element name. So the main purpose of using element selector is it selects the elements by using the name. Suppose if we want to apply a style for a paragraph tag, then we can select that tag by using the name, that means P. So after that we have mentioned the properties text, align and color. So these are style properties, and after the colon, those are known as values of that style properties. So text align center, color is red. Coming to the next selector, ID selector. The ID selector uses the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific HTML element. So the ID selector uses ID attribute of an HTML element. So every HTML element contains one attribute that is known as ID. So in order to select a particular HTML element, we need to I use that ID name. So to select an element with a specific ID, write a hash character followed by the ID of the element name. So if you select the element by ID, first of all we have to mention the hash character and then followed by the name of the ID. After that we have to mention the properties and values. So for every HTML element there is only one unique ID. So the ID selector is used to apply a unique style for a single HTML element. In that cases the ID selector is used. Coming to the last one, the class selector. The class selector selects elements with a specific class attribute. That means to select elements with a class, write a period character followed by the name of the class. So here dot is the period operator, and after that para 1 is the class name. So in order to select class selector, we have to mention the dot period operator first, and after that we have to mention the class name of our desired selector. So here our desired selector is class selector. After that we have written two properties, style properties, that is text align and color. Coming to the example program for inline style sheets. So in this example we have a header section, and within the header section we have title section. So inside the title we have written inline CSS. So it serves as a title for our document. After that we have body tag, and inside the body tag within the line paragraph tag. After that we have written style attribute. So I want to apply a style for my paragraph tag, then I need to mention the style property after the paragraph tag. So that is why here I am writing I have written the style attribute after the paragraph tag. Here the properties are separated with a semicolon, and property and value are separated with a colon. So my style properties are font size and color. So after executing this program, the SRK Engineering College, the text can be displayed with font size of 30 points and with the color red. So the inline style sheets are used to apply a unique style on a particular HTML element. So why inline style sheets the name came into picture is because in inline style sheets both actual contents and style properties are mixed. Those are written within the line itself. That is why the name came into picture. After executing this program, we have an output. That output screen can be shown on the next slide. This is the output after executing the previous program slide. This is the output. Inside the paragraph tag we have written the text SRK Engineering College, and after applying the style properties, font size and color, this is the output. So font size is 30 points and color is the red. Coming to next one, embedded style sheets. So before going to embedded style sheets or internal style sheets, first we will see what are the various drawbacks of inline style sheets. So there are two drawbacks in inline style sheets. Those are the inline style sheets are used to apply a unique style for a single HTML element. So in order to apply a unique style for entire web page, the inline style sheets are not supported. Why? Because they are used for applying a unique style for single HTML element only. The second problem in inline style sheet is in inline style sheets both the actual contents and style properties are mixed. That means there is no separation between actual contents and style properties. So in order to overcome those two problems, we go for embedded style sheets. So in embedded style sheet we write all desired selectors along with the properties and values in the header section. In the body section we write all the actual contents, whereas in inline style sheets both the actual contents and desired selectors are written inside the single line. That means those two are mixed, but in internal style sheets, both the actual contents and desired selectors are separated. That means all the selectors along with properties and values can be written inside the header section, and actual contents are written inside the body section. In embedded style sheets, we should mention the style type equals to text by CSS in the header section. That means in internal sheets, we are going to add one more tag, that is the style tag, having the attribute type equals to text by CSS. So by writing this attribute only, the browser came to know that user is using cascading style sheets. Coming to the syntax, so in the header section we need to add one more tag, that is the style tag. Style tag contains one attribute, that is type. Here type equals to text by CSS. So by this line only, the browser came to know that the user is using cascading style sheets. So all the desired selectors are written inside the style tag. Coming to the example program for internal CSS. So in the header section we need to add the style tag in order to apply styles. So type equals to text by CSS. By using this line, the browser came to know that the user is using cascading style sheets, and within the style tag our desired selectors are written here. So our actual contents are written in the body section, and our actual desired selectors are written in the style tag, that is in the header section. Coming to the body section, our actual tag is P. So I want to apply a unique style for the paragraph tag with the actual content SRK Engineering College. So in internal style sheets, both the actual contents and desired selectors are separated. That means all desired selectors are along with properties and their values written inside the header section, and all actual contents are written inside the body section. So after executing this program, we will get some output. That output can be shown on the next slide. This is the output after executing the previous slide program. In the previous slide program, we have written the SRK Engineering College text in the paragraph tag, that is in the actual content, but we have applied two style properties in the header section. Those two properties are, first one is font size and second one is color. Those two properties are applied here. Coming to the last one, external style sheets. Before going to external style sheets, first we will see what are the various problems of using internal style sheets. So the problem of internal style sheets is, the internal style sheets are used to add styles for a given web page only. So in order to apply a unique style for entire website, the internal style sheets are not supported, because they are used to apply a unique style for a single page only. So in order to apply a unique style for entire website, then we go for external style sheets. So in external style sheet, we write all the desired selectors along with the properties and values in one .css file. To link the external .css file, we have to use the tag link tag in the header section. That means in external style sheets, we are going to write all the desired selectors along with their properties and values in one .css file, that is in external file, and we have to link that external file to our HTML document by using the tag called link in the header section. So coming to the syntax, here we have written the link tag in the header section in order to link the external .css file to our HTML document. Here we have three attributes, rel, type and href. So rel equals to style sheet. That means here we are using the style sheets. So after writing the rel equals to style sheet, the browser came to know that here the user is using style sheets. After that we have written type equals to text by CSS. by this line, the browser came to know that user is using cascading style sheets which are written in the text format. After that, we have written href. This href tag is used to link our .css file into our HTML document. So href equals to one.css. That means it is the .css file which .css file. This is the external file. So in this external file is linked to our HTML document by using the tag link. Coming to the example, here we have two files. First one is .html file and second one is .css file. So I already told you that all the desired selectors along with the properties and their values can be written inside one file, that is .css file, and actual contents are written inside the body section, and we have to link the .css file in the header section by using the tag called link. So link space rel equals to style sheet, type equals to text by css, and href equals to one.css, because our external file name is one.css, so we have to mention the same name here, one.css. So by this line, the browser came to know that here the linked thing is a style sheet and the linked file is one.css. After that, we have written actual contents in the body section. So after executing this file, we have certain output. That output can be shown on the next slide. So this is the output screen after executing the previous slide program. So in the previous program, we have written a text in the paragraph SRKR Engineering College, and after applying the various properties, we will get this output: SRKR Engineering College in with 30 points and with red color, because style properties are font size with 30 points and color is red. That is why here we will get the following output. Thank you.